Hello, welcome to NeoScribe. I've poked fun at China's reputation of piracy in past videos that offended some people, saying that the jokes were racist, and since then I try to stay neutral and covered China without stating the obvious, and then I was called a China shill. Anyway, all of the anti-China comments lately from my past videos prompted me to research the extent of China IP theft. But during my research, I got pulled into another direction that is far more troublesome, in my opinion, than stolen intellectual property. And that is China's aggression towards Taiwan. You see, China views Taiwan as a renegade province and has warned that any attempts by Taiwanese authorities to declare independence will be met by force. While China's aggression towards Taiwan has been happening for years, the intensity has risen tremendously this year. China has been sending fighter jets toward and even into Taiwan's airspace, causing Taiwan to scramble its fighter jets over and over again. And as far as the government in Taiwan is concerned, the situation is not getting enough international attention as it should. While China's threat to our intellectual property is indeed important, I feel compelled to help spread the attention of this situation. Why does China think it can claim this thriving island? The circumstances between China and Taiwan would be fascinating if they did not have war implications. Taiwan is like a separate China in a way. Its official name is actually the Republic of China. Why? To explain this, we go to the 1600s when Taiwan was colonized by the Dutch and Spain to a lesser degree. Then in 1683, the Qing dynasty of China pushed out the Dutch and took control of the island. So Taiwan was solidified as a Chinese province for over 200 years until Japan defeated China in the First Sino-Japanese War in 1895. Then Japan ruled Taiwan for 50 years until 1945 at the end of World War II. And during Japan's occupation of Taiwan, significant events were rapidly unfolding in mainland China. First, the Qing dynasty was overthrown in China in 1912, ultimately leading to chaos all across the country. After the revolution, the Republic of China, or ROC, was formed in 1912 by China's Nationalist Party, aka the Kuomintang, or KMT. By 1916, warlords throughout the country took over various regions, which came to be known as the Warlord Era. And then to complicate things even further, the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, was formed in 1921. And here is where things get fascinating. The KMT and CCP, the Nationalist Party and Communist Party, joined forces in 1924 to drive out all the warlords throughout the country. They ultimately succeeded in defeating the warlords just to turn heel and fight each other in the Chinese Civil War in 1927. So there's essentially two parts in the Chinese Civil War. The KMT and CCP fought each other for 10 years before joining forces again in 1937 to fight off Japan in World War II. As we all know, Japan lost World War II, so the ROC won Taiwan back after 50 years of Japanese rule. But the island's association with mainland China would be short-lived. You see, the civil war between the nationalist and communist parties continued. Despite having more men, resources, and the backing of the United States and the United Kingdom, the ROC, the Republic of China, the Nationalist Party, was driven out of mainland China and retreated to Taiwan in 1949. With control of mainland China, the Chinese Communist Party then formed the People's Republic of China, or PRC, in 1949. Two regimes now claimed sovereignty over China, one communist, the other nationalist. After watching mainland China fall to a communist regime, the United States was determined to prevent the spread of communism. So it continued to recognize China's nationalist regime, the Republic of China. The United States and Republic of China formed a defense pact in 1955, which prevented mainland China from invading Taiwan. And that treaty would last until 1979, the year that everything changed. But before we get into that, we need to bring in the Soviet Union. The Communist PRC and the Soviet Union formed an alliance in 1950 under the Sino-Soviet Treaty of Friendship, Alliance, and Mutual Assistance. But the two countries disagreed on many issues, including different approaches on practicing Marxism. And as we all know, the Soviet Union was the United States' nemesis, so the US would do anything it could to weaken the Soviets' position. So in 1979, under the direction of President Jimmy Carter, the United States formally recognized the Communist People's Republic of China. The idea behind this was establishing a relationship with the PRC would counter the political influences and military threats from the Soviet Union. In turn, the US ceased to recognize the Republic of China as China and referred to it moving forward as Taiwan. This move actually angered many in Congress who thought President Carter overstepped his powers, and they fought against this to the Supreme Court. But to make a long story short, the United States signed the Taiwan Relations Act, which allows the US commercial, cultural, and other interactions with the people of Taiwan, and this is facilitated through the American Institute in Taiwan, or AIT, a private non-profit corporation. And the act also promises that the United States will supply and sell weapons to Taiwan that are defensive in nature. However, the Taiwan Relations Act does not guarantee that the United States will use military force to protect Taiwan if the PRC invades it. But at the same time, it also gives the United States the option to use military force. The policy that provides this kind of flexibility is called strategic ambiguity. But there is a growing number of military and foreign relations experts that believe that the US needs to move away from strategic ambiguity. They believe that the United States needs to take a firm stance and clarify to China that it will intervene militarily if China invades Taiwan. In other words, experts are beginning to believe that strategic ambiguity is no longer a strong enough deterrent, which is becoming increasingly apparent. Because China has been more aggressive throughout the South China Sea in recent years. Satellite imagery has shown that China has increased the sizes of islands or created brand new islands by piling sand onto existing reefs. And China has militarized these new islands by building ports, military installations, and airstrips. So year after year, China strengthens its offensive military posture against Taiwan. Taiwan is a capitalist society, a free society, a democracy. Thanks in part to America's protection, Taiwan's economy has flourished to become the 20th largest GDP based on purchasing power parity. So China, you can improve how you treat your fellow nation states. You surely need to stop stealing technology. But why don't you start by leaving Taiwan alone? Alright, that's all I have for now. I hope you enjoyed your journey. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I am Neil Scribe, and I'll see you on the next journey.